During a hike deep in the Olympic National Forest, this Reddit user spotted something strange. A dark figure can be seen standing with its back turned. Many commented that this might be one of the best footage captured recently of the creature. But is it really Bigfoot or just a case of pareidolia? In Logan Canyon, Utah, a group filmed something they believed could be Bigfoot. To back up their claim, they returned to the same spot and recorded a 6-foot-tall, 220-pound man for comparison. The difference was striking. The creature looked far larger and moved far more smoothly, almost effortlessly, unlike someone in a costume. Logan Canyon's dense forest and remote terrain have long fueled Bigfoot legends, making this sighting one of the most convincing pieces of evidence. This photo was taken by a hunter who was out scouting when he stumbled upon some tracks. As he followed them, he spotted a figure standing in the distance. Over the years, several train conductors have reported seeing similar creatures while working along remote tracks. Many believe this could be an actual sighting of Bigfoot. A Facebook user shared a video claiming to show Bigfoot during a camping trip in Alaska's boreal forest. The video shows the person behind the camera trying to stay hidden while filming a large, dark figure moving in the distance. The figure appears briefly, just a few seconds, before vanishing back into the woods. A Reddit user shared a story about his uncle's strange encounter while elk hunting near Ukiah, Oregon. One night, as he made his way back to camp in the dark, a massive 25-pound rock flew past him, barely missing his head. The next morning, he returned to the spot and discovered large footprints embedded in the mud. He considered following them, but was overwhelmed by an eerie feeling and decided against it. What made it even more intriguing was the tracks appeared to be following a deer. The user insisted his uncle isn't the type to make up stories, so the story is likely real. But whether it was truly Bigfoot, that remains a mystery. While trekking through the Adirondacks, a group of hikers spotted something unusual. Take a look.
You seen it?
No? Where?
Behind that tree.
Whoa, there it is.
It's a bear. That's not a bear. What is it? It's a freaking bear.
What?
A bear walking on legs that's brown around here. Looks like a bear. Bears are black here.
At first, they couldn't tell if it was a bear or something else. But looking at the footage, I get their confusion. It almost looks more like a gorilla, but gorillas don't live in this area. The creature quickly disappeared into the woods, leaving them questioning what they had just witnessed. What do you think it was? Jack and his dad were on one of their usual fishing and camping trips in northern Michigan's Boundary Waters Canoe area. While setting up camp, Jack went off to gather firewood. That's when he spotted something and managed to snap a photo. At first, he thought it was a bear, but then it stood upright. It was about his height, around 6 feet, and strangely human-like. It let out an eerie, high-pitched sound before darting back into the forest. Unfortunately, they never spotted it again during the trip. Experts later confirmed that the creature's posture and shape didn't match a bear, leaving it as something unknown. This man was hiking in Yellowstone when he started to film the surroundings and noticed something strange. Far off in the distance, 2 dark figures were moving steadily across the landscape. They were huge, much larger than what you'd expect from regular wildlife. Even from afar, their size and shape didn't quite match any known animal. But with the distance and the low quality of the footage, it's impossible to tell if they're actually a Bigfoot or just some other creatures caught at the right moment. Jeff and Teresa spent years scouting Bigfoot hotspots, filming unusual tree formations, and gathering any signs of Sasquatch presence. One of their most talked about pieces is this particular photo. At first glance, it looks like just another typical forest scene, but when you zoom in, something catches your eye. Behind the trees, there's a large, shadowy figure peeking through. According to them, this is classic Bigfoot behavior, staying hidden and quietly observing them from afar. They swear this photo is legit, with nothing faked. Did they really capture what they were looking for? This video was captured by campers, but the when and where remain unknown. Just take a look. Experts estimate the creature stands nearly 7 feet tall compared to its surroundings. The person filming struggles to keep the camera steady, clearly realizing just how massive this thing is. Then it moves, a slow, deliberate step forward, and that's all it took for the filmer to run off. Can we blame them? A new Bigfoot video has surfaced from Stark County, Ohio. The exact location isn't clear, but Stark County is full of wooded areas, so this video could have been filmed anywhere in the area. Take a look.
What I'm recording right now sounds very similar to what I heard back in 1991 or 92. Does not sound like a dog at all.
Apparently, no known animals in Ohio make that kind of noise. Experts later cleaned up the audio, revealing a clearer sound. Interestingly, Bigfoot sightings are common across Ohio, especially in Salt Fork State Park. This new recording bears a striking resemblance to the famous 1994 howl from Columbiana County. Could Bigfoot really be lurking here? It certainly seems possible. While hiking in northwest Ohio, they came across this: a patch of snapped trees and debris, something that seemed completely out of place. Their dad was convinced it had to be Bigfoot. What else could cause such destruction? Interestingly, another user mentioned noticing something similar during a bike ride at John Bryan State Park, Ohio, back in July 2021. Overnight, after a light rain, trees had been toppled and branches scattered across a 150-yard area, blocking the trail. Oddly enough, there was no sign of damage elsewhere in the park. Both incidents left people wondering, what could have caused this? Back in February 1986, an American man snapped a photo while wandering through a Midwest forest. When he looked at the picture later, something odd stood out: a large, shadowy figure in the distance. Whether it's a real creature or just a trick of the light, no one knows for sure. The photo made its rounds, sparking debates across the internet. Some swear it's proof of the creature, while others brush it off as nothing. But to this day, that blurry figure continues to keep people guessing. A homeowner in Georgia often heard eerie noises coming from the woods near his property, so he set up a camera overnight to capture whatever was making them. When he checked the footage, he heard something unsettling. deep, haunting sounds unlike any known animal calls. He reached out to several wildlife experts, but none could identify the source. People online, however, had an answer: Bigfoot. Ken was working along the Gulf Coast on Pine Island in Lee County, Florida, the state's largest island, known for its thick mangroves and dense greenery, making it a perfect place for mysterious creatures to stay hidden. While out in the waters, Ken noticed something from afar and snapped this photo. Quickly, people noticed something odd. The creature's head looked bald and shiny, unlike any known animal. Ken still can't quite figure out what it was, as it was too far to see clearly. This image is all he has. Somewhere deep in the icy mountains, a hiker captured this strange photo. In the distance, a dark, giant figure can be seen walking. Though blurry, it's clear it wasn't just a person wandering through the snow. No one knows exactly what it was, but people keep asking, if it's not Bigfoot, then what else could be roaming these snowy peaks? A hiker went camping deep in the woods. While exploring the surroundings, something strange caught his eye. A set of enormous footprints. They didn't look like any animal tracks he had seen before. The sheer size of the prints made him stop in his tracks, trying to figure out what could have left them. One print stood out, clear as day. It was massive, almost human-like, but far too big. Back in 2013, a group was hiking at a nature reserve in Florida when they noticed a tree being violently shaken. The sheer force behind it seemed unreal, nothing a human could do. As they zoomed in, something appeared, and then, just as quickly, it disappeared. What was it? In the summer of 2013, two campers set off on a hike near Port Renfrew, a quiet, isolated forest area. But their adventure soon took a terrifying turn. As they made their way deeper into the woods, they heard the sounds of branches breaking somewhere ahead. But then, a strong, musty smell filled the air. And then, they spotted it. The dark creature had broad shoulders and moved in a way unlike any animal they knew. For a moment they froze, thinking it might be a bear, but something felt off. And then it disappeared into the trees and they never saw it again.
We got into the forest about 200 feet. I'm guessing it was about 200 feet. And we could hear branches breaking ahead of us. So we're thinking, okay, maybe there's a deer or something up there, or it could be a bear, it could be a mountain lion. And Wendy was ahead of me. And she turns around and she points. And I looked up into the distance, way in the distance, it was about 75 to 100 feet ahead of us. You could see something in the distance. There was actually kind of a musty smell, wasn't there? Mm-hmm. It wasn't strong. I would say it was kind of subtle. I don't know if bears stink. I mean, somebody says, oh, it was a black bear. I don't think it was a black bear. I've seen black bears before.
No, it wasn't black.
It didn't. It seemed quite big. And she's looking through the camera and zooming in on this thing. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing it from a distance, but it appeared to be quite big, and it seemed to have shoulders on it. That's what it looked like to me. We're not 100% sure of what we saw that day. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a bear walking on its hind legs, but to me, it didn't seem like a bear, and and to her as well. And it disappeared. It just that's why she stopped videotaping. And once it got out of sight, we got out of sight. We left fast, and we were quiet.
To this day, they remain convinced they crossed paths with Bigfoot. A trail camera was set up high in a tree, and when the owner returned after a few weeks to check the footage, they discovered something incredible. A large, dark figure is seen walking on two legs, moving down a steep slope. Its posture is human-like, but its arms appear unusually long. Though it's hard to make out clear details, the figure shows no signs of clothing or gear. Skeptics dismiss it as a blurry animal or a trick of the light, but the truth is, it's hard to say. This photo was taken deep in the woods, though the exact location wasn't mentioned. The person who posted it asked for opinions. Is it Bigfoot or just a large stump? What do you think? A man was out collecting wood when he suddenly heard heavy footsteps nearby. He quickly hid behind a tree, waiting to see who, or what, was making the sound. Then he caught this on camera.
Серега, что это? Серега, да ну, Серега. Серега, ну.
A massive creature moving just a short distance away. The figure moved like a man, but was far too large to be human. He claims this was the scariest moment of his life, convinced it was something out of the ordinary. Back in 2009, this man was hiking through the forest of Old Ridge, New Brunswick, when he spotted something strange. A large, dark creature emerging from behind the trees. Opinions were split. Some believed it, while others smelled something fishy. But after taking a closer look, you could spot the choppy editing, raising some serious doubts. Scenes didn't flow smoothly, and the backstory felt shaky. Details about where and when it happened were mixed up. In the end, it raised more questions than it answered. This lady noticed deep scratches running nearly 10 feet up her tree. On the ground below, there was what looked like a footpath, as if something heavy had been moving through the area. She joked it might be Sasquatch sharpening his nails and decided to post about it, hoping others might know who or what it could have been. Some suggested it could have just been a black bear, but no one really knows exactly what left the marks. A woman was strolling through the forest one afternoon when she stumbled upon something unexpected.
I heard some kind of weird call, like a guttural throat growl or something, twice.
She started hearing strange sounds and began recording the scene. At first, she thought it might be a bear, but the more she looked, the more off it seemed. Was it some undiscovered creature, or were her eyes and ears playing tricks on her? A Reddit user shared an old, grainy black and white photo from Mason County, West Virginia, claiming it might show Bigfoot. The image captures a large, dark figure standing in the distance, but the blurry quality makes it hard to tell. It could just be a person bundled up in thick winter clothing. Still, something about it looks odd. Without clearer proof, it remains just another mystery. While enjoying a hike in the Michigan woods, this hiker was shocked when he noticed something unexpected. Stepping right out of Lake Michigan was a large, dark creature. The distance made the photo grainy, making it hard to identify whether it's truly a mysterious creature or just a person. Whether it's real or not, the mystery continues. This next video was captured by a camera monitoring an eagle's nest deep in the woods. Many viewers regularly checked in on the livestream for updates, but one loyal watcher spotted something astonishing. A dark, furry creature walked past the camera in the background. Throughout the entire stream, which lasted for weeks, no one else was seen in the area, highlighting just how remote this location was, far from where humans typically venture. So, it's gotta be something else. In February 2007, in Estacada, Oregon, a local man was walking the trails near his neighborhood. He had lived in the area for years, but that day, something unusual caught his attention. Hearing strange sounds nearby, he switched on his camera and flashlight. The figure appeared unaware of his presence. Oregon has a long history of Bigfoot sightings, leading the man to believe this could be the elusive creature. However, somehow, detailed footage like this often leaves people even more skeptical about its authenticity. But what if it is real? A guy was out filming nature, just enjoying the scenery, when something unexpected crossed his path. Out from a bush, this big, bulky figure suddenly appeared. It didn't linger. It moved fast, striding straight into another bush. The video got labeled as the clearest evidence ever, but watching it back, it feels more like some person in a furry costume rather than a real mythical beast wandering around. But that's my opinion. Our group of hikers set out on a camping trip, but as night fell, they began hearing footsteps and snapping branches around their campsite. Curious, they went to investigate and captured this.
What the fuck is that?
Shocked, they ran back to camp, but the reaction seemed mutual, as the creature quickly fled as well. Reviewing the footage later, they couldn't believe their eyes. They couldn't quite tell what they had encountered, but one thing was clear. It was huge. Another reason to find a different campsite. A guy was casually filming himself hiking in the forest. Nothing unusual until he accidentally captured this.
That's why the trees aren't going to take their chances coming out yet. Now this one we drove by, it didn't look like it was clogged, but we'll see. That's why the trees aren't going to take their chances coming out yet. Now this one we drove by, it didn't look like it was clogged, but we'll see.
In the background, a tall, dark, broad figure can be seen lurking between the trees. Strangely, he doesn't even notice it. Once the video goes online, viewers spot it. They slow it down frame by frame, convinced they've caught something eerie. But the figure doesn't seem to move. Could this be a case of pareidolia, or did he unknowingly film something more? Far out in the snowy mountains, a man living there witnessed something unbelievable. It was so unbelievable that he felt compelled to capture it on camera. At first glance, it seems like a genuine Bigfoot sighting. But when you look closer, it also somewhat resembles a person walking in a suit. As with most Bigfoot footage, we're left guessing. A man was camping alone deep in the forest when he noticed someone or something moving between the trees nearby. From the distance, it wasn't clear. Maybe a large man, maybe something else. Still, he chose to stay the night. As darkness settled, strange sounds woke him up. Peering into the shadows, he spotted this.
Man, it got dark on me quick. What is that? Looks like eye shine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Should I whistle?
Strangely unfazed, he tried knocking on a tree. Suddenly, right in front of him, the glowing eyes reappeared.
I'm gonna try one last thing, tree knock. Oh, what a stupid thing went. Oh, wait. Damn it.
This was the last footage uploaded, but luckily, it seems he made it out. Ellen Melbergstedt was walking through a forest in Gothenburg, Sweden, on her way to the bus stop. But this time, while cutting through the trees, she caught something strange on camera.
Jag är på väg till min psykolog nu och han har lovat mig att kolla på Mel Murder den här veckan och jag undrar vad han kommer ställa för diagnos på mig. Och alltså, det är så jävla fucking halt. Helt gyttjigt här i skogen.
A dark figure suddenly peeks out from behind a tree, then vanishes almost instantly. Unfortunately, there's no clear view of what it could be. Ellen didn't notice it at first, but when she checked the video later, she couldn't explain what she saw. Could it just have been an animal? This video is allegedly leaked government footage. It shows a massive, unidentified creature, possibly Bigfoot, roaming deep in the jungle at night. While many believe this post is a hoax, some find the footage surprisingly convincing. Could there be some truth to it, after all? And for more chills, watch this next video.